Hey guys, it's Dylan. I just got out of the shower. Um, I was debating about changing some of the routining that I do in my magic. Now, there is a common routine known amongst card magicians, which I'm pretty sure almost every magician knows about it, called the ACR, which is the Ambitious Card Routine. And the entire point behind it is the fact that a card is signed, put into the center of the pack, and then upon numerous different reasonings and ways, it moves up to the top of the deck. Now, I wanted to change how I do it a little bit because my kind of unique styling is I want to mock teach how a trick is done. Like I will because I don't want it to be the fact that I fool somebody. I want it to be the fact that they have no explanation on how it works. Or rather, I want them to be entertained, even knowing how it works. Yes, I have no idea what I'm saying. I apologize. But pretty much the way that I would typically start this off, and this is the way I'm thinking about starting off, is by teaching everybody just what a double lift is. And all a double lift is you're turning over one card, or while it seems like one card, you're really turning over two cards. And I actually ended up turning over three cards, so that'd be a triple lift. So pretty much it's just the act of turning to make it seem like you're turning over one card when in reality you're turning over two cards. And that is how I would, start the routining by explaining that. And throughout time delay and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure most people would forget what a double lift even is. But I would first explain that, and just considering how it's YouTube, there's something called the paintbrush change. And what the paintbrush change is that upon turning over the card with your hand, with the deck rather, turning over the card, you switch the card out. So I can do that again. By turning over the card, you actually switch it. And it's a very simple thing where you just start by getting a break. And this is a terrible way of doing it. My hands are not accustomed yet. So you have a break under the bottom card, and you swing over the cards. Now typically the card is face up, and as you turn it down, the hand that's holding the, I guess this would be considered the bottom portion, the hand that's holding the break, upon turning the card face down, holding the break, lets the break go and lets it drop onto the pack. So it's a really simple, you're holding it there with your thumb and you just lift up on your thumb and it drops it. So I'll do it from, yeah, that's pretty much all you're doing. You're just dropping the card as you're turning it over. And if you do it the right way, it'll look like nothing's happened. One way that you can do is you can bring the deck over and you kind of brush the side of the pack on top of the other pack. And it's kind of to mock, a paintbrush, which is why it would be called the paintbrush change. So upon switching it, you place the X card, which is the card that's not theirs, into the center of the pack. You take this entire pack, put it in there, and on top would be the card that they're looking for. And that's the entire premise of the Ambitious Card Routine. The entire routine is built around a double lift. So it's kind of interesting. So go through the cards, take out one card. Now it starts using the Marlowe tilt, which I'm not going to go over, but it's pretty much the act of pushing card into the center of the pack while not really going into the center of the pack. You would show saying, so your card is now lost somewhere in there, and then snap, and it's on top, using the double lift that was taught earlier. So since this card is an X card, and it goes into the pack, it's no surprise that the 5 of spades is on top. And then, you would do the paintbrush change, you push it in there as fair can be, take these cards, place it in there, with just a snap, the card's on top again. And you for the ambitious card routine, you just do the same thing numerous ways. And because of how you're doing it, because you're trying to make it seem as impossible as you can, like taking the card face up, taking the card and pushing it into the rest of the pack, like you try to make it seem like it's impossible. So, well, I'm sorry, it's up here. so it's the fact that it's unexpected and people don't know what's going on, which is why it works. So, and that's all based off of the double lift and some other variation. And it's just, it happens so fast that people don't realize it, and that's kind of what I want my routining to be, to where that I show how a trick is done and then proceed to do it not in impossible fashion, but in an entertaining fashion, so that even though you know how it's done, you're still like, wow, that was incredible. So, do a double lift there, flip over the next card to show, the fact that it's nowhere near the top, and then with just a snap, that's on top. And that's all, based on how you work it. Because pretty much the card's on top, and you do a double lift, you show an X card, you turn over the next card. Remember, this is a double lift right here. And you turn both the cards over together. And being a bit sloppy kind of helps. And then from there, because you just sandwiched the 5 in between the two cards, you can now do a double lift and have it turn up. So it's something that, like, I want to get into. Like, I want to be that type of magician that will explain his tricks, like, just enough so you understand what's happening, but not enough to kind of give away the tricks. And I know I'm only going to do that for tricks that, I know can be found online, like David Blaine's Here Then There hand sandwich trick, which uses technically 2 cards, and the ambitious card routine, some 4 ace tricks. Just only really revealing those tricks, because people will all the time will go online and like, oh, this is how you do it. I know how you do it. This, and this. I'm like, yeah, I was just saying that. This is how you do it. And it's more the fact that I remember hearing somebody call it, even if you know the trick, that doesn't mean the trick is easy and can be easily done. It's still the dexterity behind it, which is what makes it amazing. I mean, if you were to take somebody like Shin Lim, with some of the stuff he does, and like, I don't know all the tricks that he does, but I have purchased a few of them. Like, even with the things that he does, it still takes the dexterity to do it. So it's not just straight up like, oh, you buy this and suddenly you can do all these famous magic tricks. No, it still takes time. You have to learn the subtleties and the misdirection in order to learn to do it. And I want to build my some of my routining, not all of it, as I was saying, just some of it, kind of get them interested in what's happening, and then maybe do pseudo explanations, but just to get them intrigued with it by teaching them a magic trick, because like, anybody can do a magic trick, really. Like, you can do the simplest trick of all time, which is a key card routine, where, you'd have somebody take a card, and you would just take a look at the bottom card, 9 of hearts, and you place their card on top, and you cut the 9 of hearts right on top of it. No matter how many times you cut the cards, you can still look through the cards, find the 9 of hearts, and as soon as you find the 9 of hearts, you know exactly what their card is, and you're done. Like that's a really simple trick that anybody can do as long as they know how to look at a card and cut the cards. And the trick is as simple as that. So it's the fact that anybody, if they have the drive, the determination to do it, they can do a magic trick. And that's kind of what I want to relay to people. The fact that, you know, it's simple. Like, some of these tricks are simple, but you still need to know how to do it. You need to know the methods on how to get your hands to move that way. You need to know how to distract people the right way. You need to know how to perform. Because magic is not an entirely secretive organization. It's not, I know something you don't know. It's performing. Because magicians can perform for magicians, and they may know every single move that they have done. But if the performance is the right way, they'll have no idea. Because it's not the fact like, oh, I know he did a pass there, or he did a double lift there. It's the fact that I didn't realize he did a double lift because of how he was performing it. It just went right over my head, and that's kind of the idea on how it's supposed to be. So it's just, I guess the last thing I can say that to just sum all of this up is the fact that magic is not, you know, look at what I can do. It's entertainment. And this is brought up because I was watching a Magician's Got Talent channel, and pretty much a lot of people in the comments were just like, oh, I know how he did that. He did this, and he did this, and he did that. And it's just like, so? What does it matter? Magic is not a art form of, look at what I can do. It's an art form of, hey, let me show you something that would bring a smile to your face, that would bring the twinkle back into your eye. It's not, I can do something, check this out. It's, take a look at this fascinating event that would not normally be possible. Because if you look at it this way, you know, with the sun rising and setting every day, that's not something that we can control. And if you look at the sky during sunrise and during sunset, like those perfect photography times, it's a magical moment. It's something that happens every single day, but we don't look for it. We take it for granted. And if we can take joy in what other people do and not, you know, not try to pride ourselves and figuring out how they do it, then the world would be better, I guess. Because reading those comments, they're like, oh, I know how he did it. He did this and this and this. Like, so? Magic is an art form, like most other entertainment. If you go to a museum and you see paintings, oh, I know how he did that. He painted this and this and that. And, like, so what? It's not the fact of, you know, how he painted it. It's this beautiful painting that came from what he was doing. If you go see a music concert, yes, I know most concerts are musical, but if you went to go see a concert, it's not like, oh, I know how he did that. He did F, C, D, D, C. Like, again, it's not that point. It's the entertainment factor. It's the fact that you enjoy the song. You connect to the lyrics in some way, shape, or form. And people don't see magic that way, which is what bothers me. They don't see magic like an art form that it is. They see magic like it's a puzzle, which most of the time, yeah, that's kind of how it's supposed to feel like. But it's not a puzzle, it's an art form. It's supposed to be us expressing part of ourselves for you to enjoy. Like a musician, like an artist, like anybody else out there. We don't want you to look at our life analytically. We want you to be entertained by what we are showing you right here, right now. And there's a lot of people that enjoy music, that enjoy art, that enjoy reading a story, that will go to the nearest magician and tear them apart if they can. If they can figure out how their trick works, they will tear them apart. But would they go into a book and would they, go up to the author and be like, oh, this is how you did it. You wrote this, you wrote this, you wrote this. Here's the character arc outline that you drew. Here's the, go up to a musician. Here's the chord sheet for what you used. Here's the lyric, rhyming scheme. That people don't do that. They know it. That's the thing. I think that's the difference between magic as an art form and any other sort of art form. It's the fact that everything else, they can see it right there. It's not as subtle as it is in magic. If they look for it, they can find it. But in magic, the idea is the harder you look, you still can't find anything. And I feel like that's the disconnect between magic and any other form of art form. I feel like that if you can connect to somebody on that same sort of level that musicians and artists and writers can connect to people, I feel like that would create a much better experience for the audience. Because the second you show people how something is done, they're like, wow, this person is breaking the number one magician's code just to show me what's happening. Like with stupid little things, there's a stupid little trick that involves a rubber band and a ring, and it's so stupid and it's so simple. And the idea is the fact that you can take this little rubber band and you can bring it uphill, and it kind of is showing itself, but you can bring it uphill slowly but surely. Sorry, but again, my hands are not equipped for magic right now. But pretty much that is such a small little thing that, for the first time, people are just like, wow, how is that happening? But when they feel when they notice what's happening is just friction, and it's the fact that you're slowly letting go of a taut rubber band, and it's no longer shocking in the fact of, wow, that's impossible. How is he doing that? It's shocking in the fact of, wow, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe I was tricked by that. So, but at that point, it's more, saying to somebody, hey, you're stupid. But if you design it the right way, if you, I don't want to say perform it, but if you show it the right way, that it's no longer, wow, I can't believe I missed that. It's, wow, that's something I never realized before. And I love how I said the fact that this last thing 7 minutes ago. So I'm going to leave it off here. If you guys want to share your opinions on the fact, go right ahead, but just, I don't enjoy hate, and if I get any hate, I'm just going to delete it, because my channel is not that big. I don't give a shit. So, if you guys liked it, leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. It doesn't really matter to me. And I will see you guys next.